That boy who used to spend days in the garage with only his imagination and a couple hand tools has gotten lost in the grind of the real world. I think it's time we find him. The sun will come out tomorrow. But today, we're harvesting the power of the sun. Going green, and for today's build, we'll use only the power provided by this, the Bluetti Elite 300. 3,014 watt hours in this little box, all charged by these solar panels. Even my batteries are charged from the sun. I have no idea if this is going to work, or which tools will work, or for how long. But I ain't shying away from it. I'm not going to take the easy way out and build a tea light holder. No, it's me and all my usual suspects. And the only electricity from the grid that we're using are for my lights. Come on, I just installed them. I can open the garage door and work, but you won't be able to see me and my neighbors will. And I don't want that. Fence pickets. You don't need them, but if you got them or can get them, they're cheap and they're cedar. And this is going outdoors. Not a planter, not a birdhouse or bat or owl or butterfly. Not a house at all. 2 pickets, that's it. Oh, and some dowels. Now, I have some somewhere. Only need like 7 to 8 inches of most of them. 2 sizes. The big one's about 7-8 inches or so, maybe 14 inches long. And some smaller ones at 1/2 inch, give or take. And if you don't have 1/2 inch, just make them. It's so easy with this jig. Okay, if you saw my review over on Tool Tested, you know it is pretty easy. It's just very time consuming. Okay, I did not design this build. I saw one a year ago, and when I searched for it again, I found maybe not the original builder from 10 years ago, but who knows? Maybe it was made 10 years before even him. It's a circle of life. So, I think the biggest draw on the Bluetti will be the table saw, which I really hope works, as I need to rip these pickets down to width. And I really don't want to do it with a circular saw. I mean, this is so odd, just plugging it into a box on the floor. Switch it to AC. I'll leave the camera here for the start of it. Tell me how high it jumps when I turn her on. I mean, in theory, we should be good. I read the saw can start at 4K, and this little beauty can handle a surge of up to 4.8. I mean, that's crazy power in such a small box. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the shop vac. Little nervous. I did the math in my head for the tools, but that was one at a time. Not sure both will work. Now, there goes that theory. I mean, I'll probably never ever use a table saw like this again, but I'm totally tripping on this right now. Ripping pickets at 3.5 inches from a magical box in the floor. It feels so odd, and I have no idea why. What's the difference? Plugged into the box or the wall? Okay, 97%. We use 3% of the battery for that. I can live with that, and I think. Slide the table saw out of the way, get the miter, the betrayer of souls. 24 inches, shop vac on, miter on. Perfection. I once said I high-five shadows like an idiot when I get excited. Yeah, I'm probably doing that. I want to thank Bluetti for stepping in and sponsoring today's video. I couldn't be any more pleased. 3,014 watt hours of uninterruptible power in a 2K frame. 4.8K surge, unheard of in such a small portable unit. And you can control it all with the app. Every bit of it. And you can recharge it with the power of the sun, an AC outlet, the RV, the car. Summer is about family for me. Family and friends. Camping, glamping, reunions, and horse shows. Any chance to get outside, we take it. And Bluetti created the perfect tailgate solution. And that's just the fun stuff. I live on a mountain, and when the power goes out, and it will, the heat doesn't have to. The pellet stove can keep running in the winter. The fridge can keep cool in the summer. Loaded with ports to keep all your toys charged. 10 millisecond backup. Let me rewind that. See? Nothing. You couldn't even tell when the Bluetti stepped in. Pass-through charging. Use it as you charge. The fun doesn't have to stop just because the power does. All right, back to the build. Look, this build was a bit of a nightmare for me. I'll slow it down where it's needed and save all the mistakes for a blooper reel. Yes, I may or may not have stapled it all together wrong and locked it up. It wouldn't unfold. Drill some holes in the end of all the boards on one side. Size comes down to your dowel. I would use 1/2 inch here or thereabouts. I went 3/4 inches down from the end and centered them. Then, using a beautiful Patriot pencil sharpener, curve the edges. Then hit up the wen. Being fence pickets, they need some sanding to bring out that color. I use the disc to curve the edges around. All edges getting my custom curve. Then cut up some dowels. And check out the power before I drill a couple more holes. 70%, but that's good, I think. I think I have the heavy lifting done already. Well, I got one more tool to try, but we'll get to that in a bit. Okay, so these are my boards. Well, the legs of it anyways. I know, I gave it all away now. The color on these are beautiful though. All the ends are curved over. 1/2 inch holes drilled in the ends of one side of each board. One side only though. And since I'm winging it, let's be honest, they're not all the right size yet. Right. Now, while Blue Eddy can stop me from losing power, unfortunately it cannot stop me from losing my camera footage. So my apologies. I cut the boards to size and drilled some more holes, and here we are. We have 4 legs marked B's and 4 sides, 2 A's and 2 C's, and about 8 dowels. Now, I drilled some more 1/2 inch holes in the middle and center of the 24 inch boards. And on the 2 C's, I found the middle again and drilled a 3/8 inch hole in the thickness side of the wood, the 5/8 portion. Now, those little dowels we're going to glue in there, those are the key, the entire secret for the build. Not joking, we want them to stand up just shy of 5/8 inches. Now, we add our dowels to our legs, and booyah! Obviously, you tilt the wood up on their sides and put the dowels in the holes. Now, it's important. If you glue the dowels, only glue it to one board or they will not move. And really, the entire build rests upon movement. I didn't glue mine in until the end, which really added to my nightmare. But that's because I kept playing with it, trying to make it work and failing miserably, I might add. And if you did it right, at this point, it will fold up like this. Then we move on to the handle. It's not that hard. We cut our 7/8 inch dowel or 1 inch for a handle to size. For me, it was 9.5 inches. Bust out the old hand miter box, get my workout in for the day. Then we find the center of our 7/8 inch or 1 inch dowel. Half of it is 7/16. I just use my setup blocks, draw a line, rotate, draw a line, rotate, draw another line, and I end up with the middle, the exact middle. Then I drill the appropriate size hole in the center, 1 inch in. I would err on the side of going a little deeper though. Then you shove it all together. It's really that simple. And you look like this. Well, no, actually, I got the legs wrong here. We'll bend her back into position. You want your project to look like this. All 8 roundovers lining up on the top with the handle there. And the short legs on either side of the longer legs. Now, this is where I messed up. Yeah, more than once. I was trying to get too cute. I wanted the outside slats for the table to have that little bit of extra. So I was trying to build it with just the 2 middle pieces. And I, for the life of me, couldn't get it. And because I couldn't wait to see it work, I had no idea what I was doing.
Let's see, how does this go, right? Oh, it doesn't go that way, Todd. Nope. Did I mess it up?
I screwed it together wrong. Once, twice, yeah, that didn't work. Okay, no more screws, too permanent. I tried clamps and fiddled with it. Some pin nails and one failure after the other. So, While I mess around with the logistics of this, I do eventually get it. I hit up the laser. You don't need to do this. This build is amazingly awesome without it. In fact, most of the builds I do are builds that are only enhanced by the laser. But this will be used for horse shows, so I want to add some horses to it. And yeah, look at that. The cooler, the laser, and it all still works. I can burn for 7 hours straight on the Blue Eddy with my laser. Although my wife might kill me if I used it just for that instead of the necessities, like the Patriot games. In truth, the slats are very simple to do if you know how. We just have to check for square, some glue, and some brad nails for me. I did not like the look of the screws, far too heavy for me, and I just wasn't really prepared to spend the time screwing and putting plugs in. The important part is to do this in 2 phases. The first side, butt up the first slat against those 2 little dowels I talked about. Glue a nail to the inside little legs, the inside. Space out accordingly, then glue and nail the second board to the inside of the little legs. Then go down to the bottom and apply the brace. An inch, 2 inches up, it doesn't matter. Check for square. We don't want the legs to bow in. Then glue and nail to the inside big leg. Use the red dots for reference. Then just flip it over. Line up the boards right above the ones below it though. That was the part I messed up. Then glue and nail the table boards on the very most outside little legs. And the brace on the most outside big leg. The green dots is reference. And here we are. This came out amazing. Yes, I have far too many extra holes in it from my trials and tribulations, but no one sees them when it's all set up. The horses came out beautiful, and quite honestly, the colors of cedar and 3 coats of poly, it looks great. And my daughter sold it 2 days later at her horse show. Kept the money, I might add, and commissioned a couple more for her next one. I want to thank Blue Eddy once more for sponsoring today's video, providing power wherever you may go, grid or no grid. As always, thank you for watching and choosing to spend 15 minutes building with me. Until the next time.